one thing that really marked me was I was 14 and he was like, "You're going to learn how to sell." I was like, "What do you mean?" He says, "You're going to come with me and we're going to go learn how to sell door to door." But dad, I don't have a suit. I said, "Don't worry, I'm going to go buy a suit." So we went walking on the street. I felt like Pretty Woman. I tell this to everybody. I felt like Pretty Woman. Because we were like, I didn't have a suit. He buys me the suit, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like every other trip, Nathaniel. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna sit in the back of the boardroom and just watch, observe, absorb. Oh no, he caught on. He caught on that I was getting too comfortable. What he did, he was like, he introduced me to this guy who he knew who worked with him in Peru, in Lima, Peru, in South America. And he's like, we traveled there. He put me with him, and I spent the whole day, 10 to 12 hours, learning how to knock on doors and learning how to sell. And I remember people were not opening the door, Nathaniel, because they see a little 14-year-old kid wearing a suit. So it was tough. It was very tough. I'll tell you, that was the day I killed my shyness.
All right, welcome to the Nathaneal Podcast. Today we have a good friend of mine on X, Julian. Welcome, dude.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful to be with you today.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for your time as well, because I have been a fan of your work on X. I think that you are one of those entrepreneurs who have found like their voice, I would say, because a lot of people on X, I don't know, no offense to them, they can do themselves, but the thing with you is you don't really go with what everyone else is doing. So you do your own thing, you have your own path, and I really respect that. Um, but to get deeper into that, I do want to talk about your catchphrase, "We keep moving." Where did that come from?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the beautiful question and for the way to start. And I appreciate the kind words, man. I take your acknowledgement deeply. So thank you. We keep moving. That came from, I don't know where it came from, but it came because I was always saying it to people. There was always something when I was talking to people, didn't matter if I was working with them, if I met them on the street, or if it was somebody on a connect call on X. Every time at the end, like the only thing one a human can really do is to really keep moving. I'm like, usually, and I know it sounds so simplistic, but think about it. People when they're stuck, when they don't know what to do, they usually fixate on that problem or on that thing, and then they keep hammering it. It grows, it grows, it grows, and it becomes a bigger problem than it was at the beginning. And if only they had kept moving, they would have probably found a solution. They would have found what they were looking for, or something new would have come through their way. So for me, it's like whenever I don't know what to do, I just remind myself to keep moving, and I'll figure out what to do at some point. So I think that's where it came from, and I like saying it. I like telling people when I don't know what else to say. I just tell them we keep moving because I don't have answers for them sometimes. Most of the time, I don't have any answers. I just tell them, and now it's catching. And sometimes like people will tell me they're like, I didn't know what to do, so I just kept moving, and then this what happened. I said, great, yeah, keep moving. So yeah,
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, like it kind of forgot what it is, but there was this quote someone kept on telling me as well: when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing or something like that. Just do
yeah.
something, because then even if it's the wrong thing, like even if it's not the thing you were supposed to do, you did something and you would realize that it's not the right thing, so you can do the right thing. If that makes sense, right?
But on everything, well, one of my philosophies of life is that everything there's gold, beauty, and greatness in everything. Whether it's good or bad, it'll always fucking serve me. Excuse me, it'll always serve me. Full stop. Full stop. You just said it. It'll always serve me. So I agree with that.
For sure, for sure. So another thing that I did want to talk about, one of the moves that you've done, I didn't know this till recently. So I know that you help people, it's basically a life coach, right? You help people go through entrepreneurship and like how to manage life in general. But I just learned that you also do DJ. What got you into that, bro?
Thanks, man. And dude, I love how much you're smiling the whole time. I love it. Do you always smile?
Yeah, man. All the time. All the time when I'm
I love
talking to people. Very interested in people, bro.
I can tell. I love it. And one thing, I'll answer your question now. Just one thing is my father always told me, smiling is free. And the thing with free thing is that people take them for granted. So I love that you smile, brother. It's making me smile so much. Why did I or why did I start DJing? Honestly, the short story is that when I was living in Canada, it gets really cold in Canada where I was living in Montreal. So if anybody knows Montreal, it gets in for our Celsius friends out there. So I guess for everybody but the Americans, -40 Celsius. It gets really fucking cold. And I was living with my roommate there, who was my cousin, dear guy, amazing guy. And one day we were cleaning up, getting ready to start. It was my end of my 4 years, 5 years there. And I was going through all my stuff, Nathaniel, and I found this mini tiny little DJ deck. And I asked him, I said, dude, it's yours? He's like, yeah, it's mine. I said, I didn't know you DJ. He's like, I don't. It was like a lost hobby of mine. I did it for one summer and then I stopped. I said, okay, can I? He's like, all yours, take it. Okay, great. I took it. And the thing is with winters, because they're so like 7 months or 6 months of the year there is it's very cold. I told you -40. Not only that, Nathaniel, the sun goes down at like 4 p.m. So I needed some indoor hobby. I said, I love music. I love music so much. I go to a lot of music festivals. I love dancing. I have a pretty musical family. My brother sings amazingly well, so we have music in our genes. I said I'm gonna learn with YouTube. Learned, and in a few 6 months or so, just learned. And then when I came to Spain, where my family was living for the summer, I knew I was raised here, so I knew a lot of people who own clubs, people who would own, who started opening bars, who had contacts. I started going to those places. Nobody would hire me. Nobody would let me play because I didn't have any nightclub experience. But one day, one club, I think either from what I remember, either the DJ didn't show up on time and I just went there, plugged my USB, started playing, I think it was, and like they really liked what I played, so they asked me to continue coming for them. I think that's what it was. It's like he didn't come or I had an opportunity that day. I don't remember, but I just plugged my USB, played my music, they liked it, and they were like, keep, like, do you want to keep coming? Do you want to become a resident here? I became a resident DJ at one of their clubs and I just learned doing it all for free. Just learning music, connecting with people, really understanding the nightlife. I came later after a few months of an exhausting summer, because in Spain, brother, we go out we start the night at like 1 a.m. and you don't go to bed till like 6 or 7. So it ended up really not aligning with what I wanted. Like I realized very quickly, I love being with people, but I don't love being with people at 6 a.m. Like I love myself in my bed till 6 a.m., not my people. So at the end, all this just to answer your question is it became part of the experimentation in my journey to then becoming a coach who works with people. Is that a lot of things I did before that, the main common thread was people. I wanted to be with people, and before that, I had done some fashion, I had done some events, so the common thread was people. And after that, there and now, I still do it as a hobby. Tonight, I have a gig, for example. I do it I'd say every 2 or 3 months, I'll have a gig. So like the last gig I had was like the first week of April. That weekend, they were like, when you do this again? I said, let's do some random day in June. So we chose June 19th. Today is June 19th. And so today, and like I plan and that's the beauty also of having your schedule is that today's a Thursday. Well, tomorrow I'm going to treat it like if it were a Sunday, and then Sunday will be my Friday. Like it doesn't matter. My anyway, yeah, a little bit of the story. Thanks for asking, brother.
I love it, man. I love it. Like what I was thinking while you were saying that is, so I know that you're starting like a business, or you have a business as well, right? I'm curious, how is it that you balance? Because like a lot of people on the internet has had this concept of like monk mode, um, season of no, or like you gotta focus. Um, how do you figure out whether a thing is a distraction or something that like leads you towards a visit? Because like, at least for me, I guess I'm asking this in terms of my own perspective, because sometimes I feel like something is a hobby and then it's something that I really like to do. Then it's taking away. I'm a very obsessive person. And so when I take on a hobby, I become obsessed over it, bro. Like it's almost as if it's my business. And so sometimes I need to like have to like really even like remove that part of me for a while, because it takes away the time. So I'm curious your perspective on like, how do you keep that balance on like doing your hobbies and focusing on business?
Great question. And I hear you, right? Like when you like something so much, what you're saying in your example is you like it so much or you become so obsessed with doing that it ends up maybe taking away from what you should or could be doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting because I would say my first answer is I think if it wasn't for that experimentation of mine, like if I hadn't gone into fashion, if I then hadn't gone into music, if I then hadn't gone into events, then I think experimentation is really the biggest driver of purpose, or at least of one of our purposes, for me at least. But when I really sat back to reflect before I even decided to build a brand, before I decided to build a business, I really had to be like, what kind of business do I want to build? And that came from that experimentation. Now, I would say is like you and I said at the beginning, everything serves us. So even if we do things that inherently might not bring us the value or might take us away from doing other things that may have more value, I'm a deep believer in I trust a lot. I called it like these nudges. I trust a lot my gut, my intuition. And if I'm doing something, I think at the end it's like I don't I think I'm learning as well as I go through right now through my life. I'm learning to trust more if I want to do something or to sit with something. If it's something I really don't know if I want to do, I would trust. But maybe you can give me an example, Nathaniel. What's one thing you maybe got obsessed with recently that you think took away from maybe building your business?
God, let's say, I would say, dude, I tried to get, I love playing chess ever since I was a kid. And I was like, I'm just gonna play a game or two, like a game every day. I told that. But then there was a time when, dude, like a week where I just played like nonstop, almost like 6 hours every day. Because whenever I won, I would want to win again. And whenever I lost, I would want to get it back. So it's like it's become this obsession again of me. I was like, I want to become great at chess. And then like I don't know. Now I'm like taking a break off. Like I'm actually not playing again.
Why? Because doing that has been taking away from working on your business?
Yeah, it's began like distracting me from doing like the things I do. There were times when I needed to do a certain task, and like I ended up over spending time on chess that I had to cram the task, if that makes sense.
Okay, I hear you. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what is your business? Like, what do you do with people?
So I'm a ghostwriter. So well,
Okay.
ghostwriter, but also like I help people the next steps like monetize. So basically get clients, not just like grow the brand, but actually launch events. Yeah, like launch lead magnets, write emails, all that stuff.
Cool. So, okay. And you play chess usually online with a computer or with other
Yeah,
people?
yeah, online. Chess.com.
I guess in your specific example, if I were you, like to answer the question now about like how do you take it away, it's like you're right if you're seeing that playing chess with the computer is taking you away from becoming a better ghostwriter, helping people make more money, helping you make more money, then yeah, it's a wise move to stop doing it. Now, I would say if you enjoy playing chess so much, it takes you away from the work mode and you start playing other people, whether it's online or even in real life. I would even consider that a connect call. Man, like that's somebody who you could end up serving, somebody who you could end up working with. I'm sure there's many people who are like you, who want to build a brand, who also play chess. And it could become a way to combine both things where, because I hear you, maybe you're also saying like, oh, I love playing chess, but I feel guilty because then I have to cram and I have to do all these things. At least in my experience, what I've found is that, and this is why I think I do what I do, is everything that I do, my business relies on my growth, relies on who I am. Like my business, I am the business. So at the end of the day, everything I do doesn't really pull me away from it. If anything, me going for a walk, and I love going for walks, I love going for runs, I like going to the gym. I love playing music. Like you said, you're right. I don't go DJ anymore every night because then it fucks up my next day. But if I saw, but I've also I think I'm pretty sure I've met one or two of my current clients through a night out at one of my gigs.
Mm.
Because the person that I am with gigs is also the person that I am if I'm working here on my desk. Like it's the same being. So at the end,
Mm.
do you hear what I'm saying? Does that answer your
Yeah.
question a little bit?
No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Like it kind of goes back to like you are the niche at that point, right? In a way,
You are the
right?
business. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. Now that you no, dude, like you just gave me a freaking good idea, bro. No, like I'm gonna start posting content about chess, bro. Now I'm
Sure.
gonna start, right? I'm gonna start fucking live streaming chess, man.
Why not? Why not? I'm sure there's other people out there who play like who I'm sure there's other people out there who play chess who also want to learn how to make money online and grow brands and learn how to make lead magnets, learn how to create content. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I actually know like a lot of content, like a lot of people in chess are now becoming content creators. I'm not sure if you see that. Like people who stream on Twitch. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I even saw someone who made a book, like Rosman, I forgot his first name, but Levy, I think, Levy Rosman. He's like a big YouTuber. He has like millions of subscribers, and he now has a book. Dude, man, I can help this guy.
There you go.
I'm gonna fit you, bro.
Nathaniel, go play chess with us a few times, get to know him, and if you really see that you like him and you vibe with him and you feel aligned, invite him to work with you. Why not?
Hell yeah, dude. Oh man, dude. So this is beautiful, man. Because now, like, I'm experiencing the life coaching in action. It's like live, my friend, podcast, bro. People who are watching be like, "Oh man, Julian just made Nathaniel like $1 million."
If you, I mean, it's one idea to lead to a breakthrough. Now the ball's in your court, brother. Go take action on that idea.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, moving on though. So, um, another thing that I saw that I didn't want to talk about is that your father, like what got you into business from the beginning was that your father was a serial entrepreneur, right? And so I want to hear your perspective on like, did you ever felt the pressure that you needed to start a business, or was this like just really you, or like, or even was there a point where you felt like you were being pushed to that too much? Not really.
Mm, dude, great question. I've thought a lot about it because I write a lot about it. I want to say instead of pushed, I was primed. You know, like, and not in a way of like, oh, my dad wanted me. I have a younger brother, Jamie, who also is learning to do his own things. Um, I want to say that like, so my dad had a very tough upbringing. Like his father lost everything when he was 18, 19. His mother was battling cancer, so he was given the role of provider at a very young age. He had to provide for his siblings, provide for his parents, his dying mom, and so he would always tell my brother and I growing up, he was like, I don't want you and Jamie to suffer in the same way that I suffered, but I would love for you guys to learn the same values that I learned through my suffering. And that was interesting. We would like we had a very privileged upbringing, very nice parents, very nice home, good education, everything was great. And he would also take us with him everywhere. So I remember I would tell you that from 8 to 18, I had the best internship any child could have asked for, brother. Like I would go with him on business trips, business meetings. We would go travel. We'd be in fancy hotel lobbies. I was hanging around with people that were twice to three times my age, listening, hearing about the world of entrepreneurship, hearing about money, about this, and yet also noticing how people were complaining all the time. They were never happy. They always wanted more. You're a kid. I have no, those things stay with you. And one thing that really marked me was I was 14 and he was like, you're going to learn how to sell. I was like, what do you mean? He says, you're going to come with me and you're going to go learn how to sell door to door. I said, Dad, I don't have a suit. I said, don't worry. I'm going to go buy a suit. So we went walking on the street. I felt like Pretty Woman. I tell this to everybody. I felt like Pretty Woman. We were like, I didn't have a suit. Um, we, he buys me the suit, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like every other trip, Nathaniel. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna sit in the back of the boardroom and just watch, observe, absorb. Oh no, he caught on. He caught on that I was getting too comfortable. So what he did, he introduced me to this guy who he knew who worked with him in Peru, in Lima, Peru, in South America. And he's like, we traveled there. He put me with him, and I spent the whole day, 10 to 12 hours, learning how to knock on doors and learning how to sell. And I remember people were not opening the door, Nathaniel, because they see a little 14-year-old kid wearing a suit. So it was tough. It was very tough. I'll tell you, that was the day I killed my shyness. But I look back now and I tell you, like all these, that was one example. There was so many more of that. That was at 14.
Yeah.
So there was many more at 15, at 16,
What
at
were you
18,
selling back then?
a Wi-Fi, telecom.
Like the routers. You would like convince people to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, or like the things that like the internet provider, right? Like they give you phone line. Like, yeah, and it was tough, and it wasn't even like the best neighborhood in Lima. Like it was a like lower class neighborhood, so that was really tough. But I really learned how to kill my shyness. So I think that I had this, like he was making us, this is one example, but he'd make us do a lot of these things. My mom was also somebody who would make us, like go out and do things like go pay the bill or go give someone a tip, like learning all these little things. And yeah, at the end, I think it like stays with a kid when you grow up and you see that. And so fast forward to now, it felt very, especially when you're by the side of someone who's on the other side of the 9 to 5, like someone who employs people, someone who changes people's life, who creates miracles, who creates possibilities, who invests in people. When you are on this side, see it, you don't want to go on the other side. You want to. So I think it also, you said it adds a little bit of that pressure of, well, he didn't start that way. No way he didn't start that way. So it definitely added some pressure. And I was very, very lucky, very grateful because I learned so much and I keep on learning. That's why when I started this journey, I came back to live with him because I wanted to firsthand see what it's like to travel with him. I wanted to live at home, save some money. That's one truth. Truth is also, while I figured out what I wanted to build and what I wanted to do, it's let me learn from the guy who taught me. Let me learn from, I had never really lived with him. I lived with my mom. My mom raised us beautifully, taught us so much, but I had never really lived with my dad. So to really come back home while I was figuring out what to build, what to do, it was a continuance of that internship.
Mm, that's beautiful, man. Like, I remember this is what I remember. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is like the prime example for me of why environment is so important because I think he got jacked in like 3 months or something. He went from like super fat to super jacked because all he did was like go away from his friends who were eating pizza and stuff, and he went with like gym bros, and then he transformed himself. And like he basically said it's all about the environment. Like if you want to succeed in a specific thing, just go to the people who are successful in that, and like you will get transformed like them. You'll get shaped.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
So I'm curious, dude. How did you pitch the telecom thing, like the Wi-Fi?
I don't even remember. And we're talking over a decade ago. I don't remember. I know that I was very shy. Like I can tell you, like if there was a graph, and like on one side, like level of shyness and stuff, like my shyness was decreasing, and then at the bottom you have time. The more time passed, the lower my shyness went down, down, down. It's like I know for a fact by the 12th door, my energy and the way I was showing up was very different first door. And I think that I sold at the end one or two, and the first one I sold, Nathaniel, I was so excited that I wanted to call my father that I forgot to take the fucking signature. So I left. I didn't get the signature, but at the end, thank God the other guy was more experienced. He remembered, so we went back in. But I was so excited, so happy. It wasn't about the money. It was like, dude, I did it. I did it. So I don't it, but I definitely tell you that you can kill your shyness in 12 hours if you really want it.
Yeah, that's your first sale ever in your life, right?
I would say the first documented one.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe I sold stuff when I was 8 or something, like cookies or lemonade, I don't know.
Oh, right. That makes sense. But yeah, man, like that first sale, like that. At least I want to talk a little bit about that as well, because I remember when I closed my first client, dude, it was like also like hell for 45 days when I started my business. That was my first sale, right? And when I started my business, I was just like pitching everyone. I was like not pitching, but like sending DMs, and I was so scared to pitch people that my DM was like, "Hey, I'm ghostwriting. Hey, I'm going deep into this ghostwriting thing, and it's a good way to like grow your personal brand, blah blah, and build your business." But a lot of people are struggling. Social media. I'm here to help. Do you know anyone who happens to know to who happens to need this type of service? So I don't really pitch people. What I tell them is like, do you have a friend who you can refer to me? I was just so scared to be rejected, even though I knew that I wanted them to sign with me. And man, like it was so grueling the first few DMs because most of them were ignored. A couple, like most 50% were ignored, 25% were just a no. Like and then the other 25 was, I don't know, like they just sent me random things. They just joked around. But just that one yes is like ego boost, like confidence. A first sale.
You know what's funny about what you said? You mentioned rejection, that fear of rejection, right? It's funny because when I was learning about shyness, and this is one of my favorite quotes that my dad has told me and that I still remember to this day, is that shyness is just a fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, and a fear of hearing the wrong thing. And I remember that he told me that before I started Peru, the Peru experience, as I like to call it. He told me, he was like, the only way to kill your shyness. He's like, shyness is stupid. He's like, you're literally, what is like, you're hiding your talents away from the world because you're shy, because you're afraid of rejection, because you're afraid of being embarrassed, because you're afraid of hearing the wrong thing. And that really stayed with me. So I hear you. Like I definitely, even now, I still get a lot of instances where I will be like, fuck, I knew I could help that person and I didn't. Why? Because I was shy? Fuck.
Mm,
Like
interesting.
what a disservice. What a disservice to that person.
Right. Wow, that's a great perspective, right? To like view it from a perspective of serving people rather than selling people, right?
Yeah, I never sell, brother. They asked me, like literally, like somebody told me, like some guy was like, do you have, what did he say? Please, I don't want to buy any coaching. I said, I don't sell any coaching. But you mentioned you have a problem with your wife. Do you want to get to the bottom of that problem with your wife? I said, yes, I would. Okay. You want to keep talking about it? It's like, yeah. I said, okay, great. So keep talking. Like, hey,
Oh man, I love that. I love that, dude. All right, so um, now what I how among all the platforms I've been seeing you posting more on X and LinkedIn, what do you think? Like, do you have um anything that you have seen, a pattern that you've seen in content creation that you want to speak on? Like maybe, I don't know, a hack or maybe an observation on content creation.
mm, it's funny. I would say that I'd say that the more I've been posting, whatever platform it is, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or X, whatever it is, I've noticed that the main, at least for me, the less I leaned into like strategies, the less I leaned into personal brand advice. Uh, like I like the idea of like, hooking people and like learning about how to do those things. I think that's good if you're saying something substantial that you really think people should read. Well, hey, let's grab their attention so they can read it. So I don't mind that. But I think that's maybe the only strategy you could say I use is learning how to like do the show
Like
more
hooks,
line.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or not even really hooks, more just like, yeah, I guess the hook, you're right. But I would say that strategy wise, like the only hack I've really learned is the more that I put my real self out there, and I mean that, like not in a cliche way of be yourself, as in like the more that I leaned into what I liked, what I felt aligned. Like you asked about DJing, I used to hide that part of me because I
Mm,
thought that people would be like, oh,
no one
if
cares.
he's a coach, yeah, no, not necessarily no one cares, but like more of like he's a coach, like he um shouldn't be like drinking, partying, doing drugs, and like I don't do any of those things. I do drink sometimes, I do party sometimes, but like it's and it was funny because I didn't realize I'm like, no, I only want to work with people who want to be with the whole of me. So I think the best hack, as you called it, I think is really just like putting all of you out there, putting everything, not coding, not hiding things, not. I tell you, man, but the more that and for me, the other hack that I've found recently is being less online. I mean it. Be less on there, like really, especially. I mean, I'm in a relationship business. I'm in the service business. I'm building a service. I don't have a product, so like I'm the service. So for me, the more people I've got into service by being with people, by being in conversation, not engaging, not DMing, not spending 20 multiple hours a week building a lead magnet. Like all those things are helpful. And for me, helpful has been being with people.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that idea because I think there's a part of me that is still into strategy because I'm a big, like, I'm a nerd. As I said, like, I play chess. I used to play Rubik's. I used to be a mathlete, like a mathematician athlete. You know what I mean? Compete in math.
Yeah.
So I'm a big, like, numbers guy, logic guy. And whenever I play a game, which I consider like personal branding, social media to be a game, I try to find like the strategy to, like, hack to win the game. If that makes sense, right? So I like that aspect, but I've found that the more because what happens is when the strategy can only go so far, whereas everyone is just having their own strategy. It's like in the game of chess, you study different grandmasters, and then you start copying them, and everyone starts copying them, and like everything just becomes the same game over and over again. Is that right? But the thing with social media, personal branding, is it's an infinite game with no rules, and you can absolutely do anything. So the more you actually be yourself and live your life, the more you stand out, and you probably will not win the game in a sense that you won't get like the biggest followers. But I mean, I think you win in terms of you build your actual personal brand because you become a person.
Yeah, well said. And at the end, I guess it depends on what game you want to play. Like, sometimes people will ask, like, "What do you think I should do? Should I go work with a brand, or should I work on myself?" So, well, obviously, I'm biased. I think anybody who works on themselves is going to win, but it depends on what you're playing. Do you want to get more followers? Do you want to have more authority? Do you want to build a brand online, or do you want to grow as a person? And if your answer, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, what do you feel aligned to do first? If the answer is A, then go do A, right? Like, there's no right or wrong. It's like you said at the end. I think, like you, of the best the best game to play in life is yourself, is building yourself. And that's why what I love about my profession is that the only prerequisite for success in my profession is working on myself. The more that I grow, the more I can help other people grow, the more I can give, the more I can love, the more I can serve.
Mm. Oh man, dude, you inspire me, bro. Like our conversation. No, I promise it. Because right now, I am in a position. So, like, for me, I saw X as as an opportunity to make money because I had like a tough background where I was working night shifts. I was getting paid 200 to $400 per month. Um, I was going to uni. I had no support, so I had to like hustle my way through life, you know. But I've always wanted to, like, explore more. I've always been into self development, like getting to know myself more. Then, like, I wouldn't sacrifice my self development for money. If that makes sense. I
Mm.
would pick I would pick my self development versus the money. It was just that for me, there's a certain point where it's like, for you to continue to develop yourself, you need money, right? Because I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Um, but the more I talk to people, I see people who do this. It's like they stick to their authentic selves. The more I see that, man, it's not just about the money. Like, if my bills are paid, I have freedom. Like, the more I will work on myself, the more opportunities actually come to me.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I hear you. And personally, congratulations. Like, I admire you for hustling. I admire you for really, like, it's like, I agree with you. I think a lot of people do they go to building a personal brand because you get, I think, and I've heard somebody say this, of like, entrepreneurship is the biggest form of self development. And I agree, because you're your own boss. You got to keep yourself accountable. You got, like you said, what you mentioned about playing chess, or like, brother, no one's there to tell you what to do. So you gotta be disciplined and ask yourself, what do you want? So I hear you, and again, it's very commendable what you're saying. Like, make your first money, and then I can work on myself. But I would even argue, and I say this with some of the people who work with me. There are people who are in 9 to 5s. This is like two of them. They're in 9 to 5s, and you see my dog. She just, I don't know if you can see
Hi.
it. Just
Yeah. What's
um,
what's the breed?
Molly. She's a Labrador. Her name is
Oh,
Molly.
nice.
Is she gonna sit and join us? We'll see. Two of the people that I do work with, they're both like in their 20s, and they're in 9 to 5s. They don't know what they. I think they were pulled by the glamour or the idea, I would say, even of building a brand and making that money, building life on their own terms. And the reason they started working with me was more of, I think I want to work on myself. I'm happy in my 9 to 5. I don't hate it. I just want to build life on my own terms. But I think before doing that, I want to learn about myself. I want to love myself. I want to really get to know myself, who my true being is. And as they've done that, now here we are, maybe just with one of them 3 months later, with the other 6 months later. And they've now seen that they want to become their own coach, their own type of coaches. They have their first clients that are felt aligned in a way with them. That's not draining them. That is adding to their days, right? And because they're not doing it for the money, because they are happy in their 9 to 5, they don't need anything from the business. The business is they're just a vessel to work on themselves, to serve other people. Because the more you serve others, the more you serve yourself, and vice versa. And so it's like you said, like at the end, it really depends on what is the game you want to play, and it depends on what are your priorities. And I know a lot. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people who don't have the financial means to work on themselves, to invest in themselves with like a coach. And yet, by doing that very investment that you don't have the capacity to do, your return ends up being even more powerful because you show up for yourself. We're sending your signal to your brain. I'm this important. I'm this important that I'm gonna show up. Like you said, like Mr. Beast, I'm gonna stop being with other people. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work on myself. And I'm really gonna make it count. And then by default, that spills over to your business. It spills over to building something that is an extension of you in an aligned, unique, authentic way. And then people start gravitating to that. People start coming to that. People start wanting that too. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm curious then, what do you think is the game you're playing in terms of your business? Like, or what does winning mean to Julian?
Mm. One thing I tell you, and I've said this before. Winning to me means nothing if I'm winning alone. I mean that. Like I want every person that, whether I work with them or not, it's irrelevant. Every person that I can, like for me, it's like I want to serve people. I want to be a service, not only if they're a client. So for me, it's not. I don't show up from a place of, is this like, what if this is somebody that I could serve? It's not an if. It just is somebody that I can serve. Now let me figure out how. I really want to go through my life that way, and I aim to go through my life. So I would say to you, the answer to the question is what game I'm playing. I'm playing the game of service, of just, who can I serve today? How can I be of service? How can I be of love? What can I say? What can I do? What can I listen? How can I serve the moment? It's not always what I have to do or advice I can give. Sometimes the highest service thing I can do is be there with someone and just listen. Or sometimes it might just be pointing them to somebody else, or connecting them with someone else, or asking them to work with someone else. There's always, that's what I love about the service game, that there's 1,400 ways to be of service every day.
1,400. Where'd that number come from?
My father,
This,
or my father always says there's 1,400 solutions to every problem. So that number just stays with me. It's like it's a
oh,
number
okay.
you'll never forget it, right, Nathaniel? How many?
Yeah, 1,400.
Yeah, it's a number you won't forget, and it's really at the end. Is even if you think you found all the ways, there's always another one. We keep moving, right? There's always another one.
I love it, man. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love this, bro. So would you say that there's a specific type of person who you're looking to help? Or like, this is like a strategy term, but do you have like an ideal customer profile, you would say?
I love that you're asking me that, because like the other day I was thinking. So I'll tell you, if you look at and I did this with my coach, we like try to go through the clients I work with, and like there's similarities, but they're all very different. Like there's some that are much older, some that are like I don't have the same age range. Like out of all the clients, some are in their 20s, some in their 50s, 40s. So age, like we couldn't find a commonality in age. Industries, we have some in luxury, some in like accounting, some in So it's like it's so there's no profile like that, but I'm gonna answer to you in correct and in characteristics and being, okay? Because that's what I even when people say, yes, I want to work with you, I tell them, okay, well, before we even talk about money, let's talk about commitment. Like, how committed are you? So when I'm answering the question, who do I serve or who do I want to keep on serving? This is what really came to mind. And it was people who show up with deep commitment, meaning like they treat and we call it coaching, but I would say they treat their time with me, their time with themselves, like a sacred, high stakes space. And when I say sacred, I don't mean religious. I mean sacred as in it's about them, it's their life, and their life is the most important thing, right? People who take ownership. They're not outsourcing their results to me. They want guidance. They don't want saving. They don't want fixing, right? They are building what I may be modeling. So a life, a business built on their values, not vanity, not metrics. They resonate with identity first language. I talk a lot about being, a lot about service, a lot about alignment, truth, energy. So they understand that, right? Or again, there's many people who, when they come to me, they don't get it. So that's why I tell them before we even talk about money, let's have a conversation about commitment. Let's have a conversation about intimacy. What are you called for? I told you, are you going to work with me because you want to have some quick money or because you want to build a follower account? Because that's not what I do, right? So let's find out, what are you being called for, right? And I love working with people who are not in a rush. They trust the process, even when there's urgency present. I've had people who really told me, I don't think I can continue working with you. I really have no money. And we slow them down to like, who do you need to be to create those funds in the next 7 days? And then they go and they create the funds in the next 7 days. And legally, morally, and ethically, not that they went and robbed someone.
Not scamming people, of course. No.
Like, genuinely, because they're willing to slow down in order to then speed up. They're willing to really like, he's like, listen, bro, I don't know if I can continue with you. I said, brother, we still have like 2 weeks of our container. Let's talk. Well, who do you need to be if in the next week you're able to create you're able to create the funds? Who would you need to be? He says, I need to be someone who believes he can do it and that I have no choice, that it's gonna happen. It's a decision, it's gonna happen. Not a goal, a decision. It's gonna happen. But okay. And if you do that, man, what opens up for you? He says, oh, everything. If I end up doing this in the next 7 days, I can do anything. So okay, go ahead, go do it. Go show me. Came back 7 days later. He didn't leave. He went to the bank after thinking of 100 options. He went to the bank and he told the people at the bank, I'm not leaving this place until you give me some kind of loan, whatever it is. Like, I need a loan. Like, I need a loan for some amount. Give it to me. And he like told them, like, I'm this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna become a great coach. I believe, like, he was like he already had decided that he wasn't gonna leave the establishment until he got something. And I don't know how long it took, but they gave him a loan for 60% of what he needed, and that was more than enough because he had the other 40% in his bank. And here he is. That was 3 months ago. And now he's here with still 3 months later. He's asked. So we asked him. I said, remember what you told me? He said, what? He said, I can do anything I want if I'm able to do this. I said, okay, you managed. Now what do you want? He said, I want to move to another country that's not a third world country because I live in a third world now. I want to move to a first world country. I want a better job and a better salary in my 9 to 5. I said, okay, go ahead. Go ask your boss and go do it. Remember, you decided it. It's not a goal. You're going to make it happen. Who do you need to be? I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And then a month or two later, he just moved to the US, salary promotion, salary increase. And now he's been there for 2 months and his promotion just got re-promoted after just 1 month there. So even more income. So why I share this story, because I share the power of possibility, man. That's what I love, working with people who believe in possibility, who are open to possibility. Not people who are so nitpicky and, oh no, I disagree, I don't agree. Possibilities.
Mm.
Does that answer the question a little bit?
No, yeah, man. I love it. I love it, dude. His story reminds me of a mentality. Like every time I also play a game, it's the same mentality, man. Like I go in a game and I'm thinking it's either I win or I die. Like I'm going to as well, dude, on X. That's why I was willing to invest like 13,000. I invested 13,000 money that I didn't have. I have 5,000 on my bank account during that time, but I invested 13,000 on coaches and courses to figure out the game because I was like, bro, I'm just like gonna go all in because if nothing happens, well, I mean, I have nothing to lose anyway. So either I win here or I just die. And it happened, dude.
What happened? Tell me. What did you create?
Well, I closed my first client in 45 days, and like that was so I invested 13.5K at 13.5K, and I closed a 12.5K deal, and I was able to pay off my like debts, but it wasn't really a debt because it was a payment plan.
Brother, I
So
acknowledge you. Can I ask you a question?
sure,
Was that a goal of yours, or was it a decision you had made once you made that investment?
it wasn't a goal, dude. It was like it was a decision. It was like either I win or I die. That's it.
It's that simple, and that's why I say this to a lot of people too, and they think I'm crazy. And my man, and Nathaniel, I acknowledge you, brother. Like, you're a beautiful example of the true power of belief and investing in yourself. Like, that's what it's investment. People love to say, I can't spend that much. I'm not asking you to spend that much. I'm asking you to invest in yourself, to enroll in your dreams, in your life. And I say this to a lot of people. I'm like, like, a lot of people think I'm crazy. They're like, dude, you're already giving me so much value. Why would I just not keep doing this for free? So it doesn't matter whether you pay me or not. My side, I'm not going to change. The person that will change is you. So if I were you, I wouldn't invest because it's going to be a different for you, not for me. And you're the perfect example of this, Daniel. You're the perfect example. The guy, he's like, I've never heard. I don't. What kind of mind game is this? It's not a mind game, brother. It's not a mind game. But you see that I can only say this confidently because I've been on that side. I also recently invested $10,000 in a coaching school and more to really solidify my craft, to keep getting better, because I see that the best investment I can ever make is in myself. The highest ROI is in yourself. You know it, and you're the perfect example of it too, my man.
Oh yeah, dude. I love it. I love it. So um man, I was thinking it was a question. It just passed through my head. But the thing is, like what you're saying right now, it's just so empowering. Your energy, bro. Like I'm just filled. Like like after this podcast, bro, I'm going to like I don't know, like I'm gonna do something amazing, bro. That's my feeling right now. Like I'm gonna after this podcast, I'm gonna stand up. Well, I'm still gonna stretch my legs because I'm sitting down. I'm gonna stretch my legs a little bit, and then I'm gonna like I'm gonna be so excited to like just do outreach or whatever. Like
Yeah,
it's
go
I'm
go
pumped
serve
up. You know
people.
what I'm saying?
Like, it's
Yeah,
serve
serve
you.
people, my friend.
I love
Cool,
it.
man.
Thank you for sharing that.
Cool, man. So now I'm curious, like, so for people who are feeling stuck right now, right? Do you have an advice for them? Like, this something that except for like keep moving. We already discussed that earlier, but maybe someone who's like stuck in terms of they want to go somewhere, but they feel like they can't. What
Mm.
would you tell them? Or maybe this is better. What if this is like the common excuse? I've tried everything. Like, what if someone tells you, man, I've tried everything, but I just can't get. I think I'm just going to settle with where I am now. I'm not gonna build the business anymore. I'm not gonna grow anymore.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, first thing is I would ask for permission. That's everything. One thing I've learned is that people are way more receptive to my advice if I ask for permission. So I'm going to ask you for that permission, and to your listeners who are listening to this, I'm going to ask them to hear what I'm about to say from the realm of what's possible for them. To not hear whether they agree or they disagree with what I'm saying, because what I'm going to share right now is based on my experience. So it's not my opinion either. And I really want to make that clear, Nathaniel, because I'm sure I'm guilty of this. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure your listeners are too. You watch stuff, you read content, you get advice, and you catch yourself going like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know," or "Yeah, that's not going to work for me," or "I've tried everything, so clearly it doesn't work." Right. So what I only want to say is, before I share my experience, is please listen from the realm of what do you hear in this for you and your own circumstance, your own life. There has to be something in what I'm going to say that you're going to hear that will help you. So please, do I have your commitment to that? At least yours,
For sure, man. And the
brother.
listeners as well. I speak for them.
Beautiful. Okay, listen to your man Nathaniel. Um, so if you've said you've tried everything, what I love, and this is something that I've been taught to do a lot by my mentors, is slowing down to the speed of life. That slowing down is the best way to speed up. And what I mean by that, I used to be someone, Nathaniel, that was very quick, very rushed. If people listen to this knew me before I became a coach, before I started this online journey, before I started any personal development journey, people knew me. I used to stutter a lot. Why? Because as you can tell, I'm very passionate. I have a lot of energy. I speak very quickly. And before, I used to, if you think this was quick, oh, guys, you don't even want to hear the way I used to speak before. I
Yeah.
was, then my brain couldn't keep up with my lips. Or the other way around, my lips couldn't keep up with my brain. Like I was just so quick. So I stuttered a lot. And what I realized is I was trying to do so many things at once, trying to fit in so many things. Like even when I've called my friends, I was always doing something. Like I was always ironing my clothes, cleaning the dishes. One day, it was so rare that one day I called one of my best buddies and I was sitting on the couch and he was like, "Damn, never seen you on the couch." I was like, "Yeah, it's weird. It was that rare because I never sat down and did nothing. It was always had to fill up my I used to measure my self-worth with how much I did with my productivity. So why am I saying this? Well, why am I mentioning this to your question of slowing down is the minute I learned to sit with something, right? Even I know I say keep moving a lot, but sometimes keep moving also means be still with yourself. Keep moving means whatever you want it to mean. And maybe right now the next best move you can make, the next best move you can keep is to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what have I tried? What have I liked about what I haven't tried? If you say you tried everything, then let's use that as data. What have you liked, what you've tried that serve us? What did you like about it? What did you not like? What stayed with you? And the question again goes, let's slow down. What are you even trying to build? What are you trying to create, more importantly? It's not building, it could be just creating. Are you trying to create a business? Are you trying to create more love for yourself? Trying to create more love for your partner? Are you trying to create more income? Are you trying to create more fitness and muscle mass? Answer the question, what are you trying to create? And then let's slow down to that. What have you done so far that has led to that? What has been fun in what you've done? What do you want to do more of? There's a lot of people who are like, I want to create a business. And then I was like, okay, what have you done so far to do that? I've been posting every day on X, engaging every day, DMing. It's okay. What do you like about that? Oh, like nothing. So what do you like instead? I like talking to people and being in the park. Okay. Last I heard, there's people who go to the park as well, not just you. Go to the park. Go. Like, I think it's so funny because at the end, it's go slow down and go do more of what you enjoy doing and slow down to that idea. Let's slow down and really see what value can this bring, right? Does this bring me anything? Does this have any value in what I want to create, right? And that's why we have to answer the question, what do I want to create right now? Am I making
Mm.
sense, brother? What do you
That makes sense, man. That makes sense. It was every time I ask you, I feel like the question that I'm asking is really more for myself, to be honest, because
nice?
like right now, I'm 22, and I have this temptation to like explore more, but I also have this desire to scale the business. You know, like I have this temptation to like take it slow and like explore possibilities first. But the thing is, I've seen what works, and honestly, like right now, I'm in a great position in terms of the business where I can like, if I just 10x the inputs, I know I will 10x the outcomes. That makes sense.
Okay, to answer your question,
Yeah, go ahead.
do you want to 10x the input? Like, would you like to do that right now, or what would you like to do? And
Right
not
now,
and don't answer of what's going to come to you from what you do. I want to think from the
yeah,
place of as I do that activity, do I get fulfillment and happiness and joy from that activity?
right. Right now, when I think of what I want to do, we talk about this off camera, but I want to like go to Spain and travel. Like my primary goal right now is to go to Spain because that's how I will get the passport. Because again, it's so hard to get like visas and things when you're in the Philippines. But if I could stay in Spain for 2 years, I can get a passport and I could be able to. That's like for some reason, my brain just pulls me towards that idea. Like it's
Okay.
just telling me do that.
Okay. So do you believe that you can create that while also 10xing your inputs?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so you're able to travel, explore, and also work 10 times harder than what you're working now?
Exactly. Yep.
And go ahead, go try it out and go see it. It'll serve you anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I saw. Like that's what I'm trying to do now. 10x the output, 10x the inputs, and move towards what I'm doing. But yeah, man. Um. So final question, my friend. This is one of my favorite questions. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I feel like if you asked me that question tomorrow, yesterday, or and like next week, my answer would be
Or
different.
different.
So I'm gonna tell you what came to my mind the minute you spoke it. And I'm having like a 500 that are coming through right now.
1,400, brother.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. I honestly want to say I think there are 1,400 solutions to every single problem. And problems are your best friend. Problems are your best friend. So even if you right now, in your case, you find out that fuck, I travel, I want to keep exploring, I really don't have the time to go outreach and DM or ghostwrite. That's a blessing, brother. That's not a problem. That's a blessing. That's literally life telling you, Nathaniel, slow down and go focus on doing what you now. Your business is good, you're doing well. Go focus on yourself. And maybe maybe you're like, fuck, I love it. I love what I'm doing. That's at the end and this goes to the question you asked me before. If somebody says I just tried everything, I would say, have you really tried 1,400 ways? Because if you haven't, then go keep trying. Because you
I tried 1,400 ways. I love that, dude.
I tell you, I'm sure there's people listening who are gonna be like, but isn't that like just the recipe for burnout? Isn't that the recipe to overachieving? And please, I encourage you to listen to what I said 10 minutes ago. Sometimes one of those 4,000 ways is to slow down and rest and recover and work on yourself. It's the opposite of burnout. So please, I don't want people to hear me as in me saying, have you really tried every way? It doesn't mean go do more. It might sometimes be just be more. Go learn into your being. Right. So that's what I would say is the piece of advice that at least shines through the most.
So sometimes we keep moving just means taking a breath, right? That's still moving. Just moving your diaphragm.
Yeah. Yeah. It could even be moving your intellect, moving your brain, moving your being, right? Expanding your being. And that's also movement, right? At the end, it is whatever you want to make it to be. That's the beauty.
Beautiful, man. All right. So, is there anything that you're launching right now? Any events, offers, maybe products that you would like to share?
Honestly, the only thing I want, if people have resonated with what I shared, I would love, and they want more, go. I release a free newsletter and free videos on YouTube that I love doing. There's I've gotten people who I don't know from a hole in the wall are reaching out to tell me that they've been really helpful, that they've been really making a difference for them. And I believe it because I pour my heart and soul into them and I don't hide anything. Like I share everything. So this resonated, if something resonated here and you want to hear more, go check out that. Maybe I can send you the link, Nathaniel. You can put it on the bio or description or something of my newsletter because I I love my newsletter. I record it, I speak it for those who prefer listening, and I write it for those who prefer reading. So and they're so fun to make. So that's the only thing I would say. And if not, then that's it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. And Nathaniel, thank you, brother. The questions were powerful. Your energy was beautiful, man. I love how you were listening. I love how you kept hearing things for yourself. I love the way you're smiling, brother. I love it. Love it, man. I love your energy.
So I love the input you've made as well, bro. Like I told this earlier. I feel like after this call, after this podcast, I'm going to be like so pumped. Like it's 8 p.m. on my end right now, but I feel like it's just 8 a.m. my friend. It's like my day's just getting started, bro.
That's the beauty of tapping into your being, my man. Your energy. Your energy is the most beautiful. I love it.
We keep moving, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for
Much
listening,
love.
everyone. Cheers.